The brutal truth is that as children begin to grow, they find it's a pretty violent world. Violence is all around them, on TV and cartoons, in their schools and on their playgrounds. And too often, children experience violence at home, which is supposed to be a safe place. Wouldn't it be great to prevent some of these problems before they happen? It is possible, but first you need some new information. Most of us think we know what it means to be a good parent. When the baby is born, don't we automatically know what to do? Not necessarily. There are some key elements to good parenting that just might surprise you.
I think probably the most common myth about parenting is that you just know how to do it. And you don't.
Violence is very destructive to people, emotionally especially. And as parents, I think it's our job to protect our children as much as possible from the violence that is in our world. It's important for us to teach our children how to solve conflicts in a peaceful way.
None of us want to think that sexual abuse actually happens in the home, but it does, to an alarming degree. We need to be updated on the signs and symptoms and learn how you can protect your children from it.
A lot of incest survivors especially will tell you that if they would have just known, that's not what's supposed to happen. That's not how dads or stepdads or uncles are supposed to treat you. Then they would have told somebody about it. But unfortunately, they just don't know. That's all that happens in their household, and they're told to keep it a secret because it's part of your household. And so they do.
I kept it quiet till maybe I was 12, till I couldn't take it no more. I was getting older and the abuse was getting more extreme. I expected my mom to go and protect me instead of believe him, and it didn't happen.
Our forensic interviewers interview anywhere between 350 to 425 children per month here in Harris County that are alleging child sexual abuse.
She's getting a lot more help than I did. I've actually started to break the cycle because I didn't get the help. My mom didn't help me, and I'm doing everything different, helping her. She's getting the therapy. I've started to see emotions and signs now that we're working through the therapy. And I hear certain comments, like just the other day, she was asking why she was put here. Why was she born? And it upset me because those are questions I would ask.
Discipline. Now this is a tough one. What should you do to enforce the boundaries when your child goes beyond the ones that you've established? And we all know they will.
Discipline and punishment aren't the same at all. Discipline means teaching. Punishment means do it, get it over with, get it out of the way. I've conquered because I'm bigger, stronger, and I can get away with it. But it's not going to last very long.
I think a lot of people confuse discipline as being a negative term, and they'll say things like, you have to discipline that child. And what they mean is you need to whack that child. They're not saying anything positive at all because the child is out of control, behaving badly or something. What discipline really is helping a child learn how to behave so that they can self-discipline and be good people out in the world.
How can you as a parent help your children grow emotionally so that they can have confidence in themselves and learn to make good decisions about life's problems? The question seems hard, but the answer can be really simple.
I think education is always good, and I know for myself, learning how to raise children is probably, is one of the most challenging things you'll ever do as an adult. So if parents can know that everyone struggles with raising children and the right decisions to make with children, coming to someone for help is okay, and asking the right individuals for that assistance is all right as well.
Remember a child in you. Remember what you liked and disliked when you were growing up. Remember your child is you. Give them love, give them hugs, give them encouragement, do it in a loving, firm way, and they will not disappoint you.
A child who has at least one adult who thinks he or she is just wonderful and gives that child unconditional attention and regard and unconditional love ends up being much more resilient to life's stressors and traumas than a child who doesn't have that.
When you embed a child's feeling about themselves that every time I do something, somebody cares about it, that child's going to be strong and ready to be resilient. And I think we ought to be raising our kids to resilience now. After 9/11, I no longer think the way I used to. We're not raising our children in a safe environment. We're raising them in an environment where they're going to have to respond to all kinds of stress that we can't even predict. Okay, what can we do for them? Resilience. Let them learn how to pull themselves out of trouble and feel good about it. That's a big job.
The great thing about parenting is that when you apply some new approach to your child and it doesn't work, you'll have another chance to try it again. The main thing is you can't give up. And don't be afraid about what you don't know. But remember, using violence in raising your children will only teach them that it's okay to raise their children the same way. Don't be stuck in the old ways of thinking. Listen to the experts. Those cycles of violence can be broken and replaced with new methods of parenting that you learned here on The Brutal Truth. Use this information as a resource as you raise your resilient children.